guys, so we are starting a little early today and doing our core and restore. Good morning, I'm Susie Gillette from Benton Fitness, and we do have people here today. They're socially distanced, and so basically I just wanted to start it earlier today for a couple of reasons. I am trying to start things back to what would be, in a sense, the normal time that we were used to doing our core workouts, and just so things can kind of almost start feeling and kind of going back to something different as far as summer goes, because as we get closer to summer, most people don't want to work out like at 10 o'clock in the morning. These videos will also all be ready for you up on replay afterwards as well, or if you're just joining us now, you can join us and just kind of start where you are at that point as well. So if you have a band, a lighter band would be preferable to a heavier band. These are yellow, they're pretty light bands. Also, if you have a long band and or some place to attach it to. So a place to attach it to would be like a doorknob or something that shuts towards you, not pulling away from you. And then the other thing would be, a rail, a heavy chair, a child, or something like that. You can make a knot out of your, here's a little trick. You can loop this around your band like this, and then make a knot on one end, and then stick it through your door, and it'll stay in your door, kind of. You just have to be careful that your door doesn't have super sharp edges, or get some sort of thing or piece of material to do that with. So anyway, so you can use this kind of to double feature with the longer band through a door if you have access to a door in your home, unless you've taken them all off. That way you can kind of see all your friends and family, and then, or if you just have that band. Also, I'll be showing the movements without the bands at all together, so that you can do the bands with stuff without the bands too, and just kind of, you'll just feel the resistance very differently. So anyway, starting from the top of your mat, let's just kind of prep our movement a little bit. Again, core and restore, so we're going to start with some nice core movements and then move into some restorative kind of hip, shoulder, back movements to reconnect the system. All right, just take your arms up and overhead reach. And then exhale, take your hands down. And again, take your arms up and overhead to reach. And then exhale and down. One more time, just take your arms up. Just feel that length at the side of the body. Reach up, press your palms up, pull your shoulders back, push your hips out to one side. Doesn't particularly matter which. It's not necessarily magical. And then center up, and then tilt over to the other side, just to kind of get that length up the side waist. You're pushing into that leg that you're moving away from, keeping that leg long and then coming up. Remember, the idea behind stretching is that it's not just pulling, but it's really finding length out of a range of motion. And then to come back to center and bring your arms down. Roll your shoulders up, back and around. Part of core work a lot is shoulder movement. And so just kind of warming the shoulders up. And last one, and then just draw your chin to your sternum and lift your chin back up. Draw your chin to your sternum and lift your chin back up. Two more times, drop your chin and then back up, and drop your chin and then come back up. Good. Bring your head nice and tall into center, and then just roll yourself forward, bringing your hands to your feet. And then pull your belly tight to the body and roll yourself back up. Settle your pelvis first, and then restack your spine. And then bring your chin towards your sternum. As you roll down, you're rolling down as if you're a wallpaper rolling off of the wall. So you're not pushing your butt back. Try to keep your tailbone almost tucked in and roll away from the wall. At some point, you'll give in with the knees and then release yourself all the way across the front of the legs. And then again, pull the belly into the body and roll yourself all the way up and back. And again, chin long into the sternum, roll yourself forward and come down towards the ground, and then pull your belly into your body and roll yourself up. Last time, chin drops into the sternum, pull the belly in, pull the rib cage in, let the pelvis drop over the top of the legs, bend the knees, walk yourself out to kind of an all fours position, head and chest is forward, body's nice and long. Just feel that length coming through the back line of the body. Good. And then just tuck your pelvis, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, come into a back extension. So you're just doing a little cat-cow here. Round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. And last time, pull the belly in, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Just breathing through your belly. See if you can expand the belly without moving the pelvis. So you're really pushing down into the belly, and then pull the belly into the body without tucking the pelvis. It's just a little practice on whether or not you can maintain core stability and pelvis stability. One more breath, nice and deep. You try to fill the belly up, drop it to the ground without dropping your pelvis. And then push into the toes, pull the shoulders back, and let's just lift the knees off the ground. Let's hold for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. So just holding your weight off, especially when you just hold it just a tiny little bit. You really have to use the core to stabilize, or you load the hands, or you have to pike the hips up to take away some of the pressure. So this really makes you focus in on the core, so you're not overloading the hands or the toes. Let's do that again. Pack those shoulders in, pull the belly tight, keep the head and chest forward, and lift the knees. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. And kind of done well, you might feel like if you kind of relax the quads and don't ask the quads to do all the holding. So trying to find where you place load balancing is huge for core work and mobility work. Let's do it one more time. See if you can relax an area that may be starting to really fatigue or tighten, and rebalance the load into the core, hands, knees, shoulders, hips, someplace else. And again, let's go for 15. Lift those knees just off. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Drop into your right or left hip, left shoulder down. Now, inside plank, one of the biggest issues is that you put all the weight in the shoulder. So facing away, obviously, from your shoulder either slumps in, or you put all the weight in your shoulder blade and it pulls to your middle back. You want to think of drawing your shoulder blade way back here down to your hip pocket, but at the same time keeping the top shoulder real square. So think about steadying the middle of the back, not just the shoulder, the hip, the core. So setting up, tighten up underneath the armpit. Knees are going to be on the mat, so you're going to not be in a full extension, and you're going to lift the hips up. And I really want you to think of pulling almost from underneath the armpit toward the knees. Really work the lift of those hips as high as you can. Push your hips forward. Keep your knees as close as you can together. Hold for another 10 seconds. Hold for another 5 seconds. And then down. Good, let's go to the other side. So of course the load wants to jump into the shoulder because that's where your weight is distributed first. But again, rebalancing your weight distribution or your loading is really the important part. So again, pull. You can kind of see how I'm pulling into my shoulder. Pull my armpit, rib cage up, and really use your glutes. Lift those hips, push your hips forward and use your glutes. Tighten them up, squeeze them from both directions. Inner thigh, underneath your hip. Top hip is even tight. Hold another 10 seconds. Shoulders are back, but don't slump into one or more of the shoulder blades. Hold another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and down. Let's go back to the first side again. Take that band if you can, if you have it, and let's place the band above the knees. And it's just information, so that's why it's a light band. A heavier band would really be for if you wanted to do strengthening. This is, not that this doesn't build strength, but it's information. If you overload the system won't do better. It'll just be overloaded and shut down quicker. So again, with those knees slightly open, you're going to have to feel that top glute a little bit more, plus the bottom glute. So again, tighten up through the armpit, lift the hips, then lift that top knee. And you can feel those glutes have to be involved in this motion. And push your hips forward. Straighten from your knees to your put your knees on the ground. Your knee can touch, but your hip isn't. Doing 5, 4, top knee is elevated, 4, 3, 2, and down. So I want to recorrect a couple of things here just real quick. I want you to make sure that your hip is forward. So line that up first then. So set up that length first, then lift the hips. Because in this kind of, if you're in a tucked position here, you're really not using your core. You're using your legs and shoulder to hold you. Okay? So set up the position really first. It's like the whole measure twice, cut once thing. In exercise, it's set up the position. Then your position in the movement ends up being a lot easier. So again, hips forward, push them forward, lift those hips up off the ground. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7. Lift those hips up. Top knee elevated. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Much better, guys. And then let's switch to the other side. Again, arm is down. You're setting up this right here. Then set up the lower half of the body. You may already notice your core engaging when you do that. So then lift the hips up and push the hips forward. Lift the top knee and hold. Much better, guys. Nice. That looks great. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Good. Let's one more time go back to the first side. Set everything up. Hips forward, shoulders back. Top leg is up and hold. And then just lift and lower the top leg. We've got 10, 9. Don't drop the bottom hip. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Down. Switch to the second side. Elbow down, hips up, nice and long. Set everything up. Push those hips forward. Feel those glutes. Lift that top knee up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Head back. 6, 5. Everything is long. 4, 3. Don't drop that lower hip. 2, and last one. Very nice, you guys. Very nice. So you can see that progression. They're not overwhelming. It's not like the end of the world. Like sometimes push-ups become like, we're done with them. But something shouldn't be, not everything has to be at its perfect end point. So let's go into an 8-point plank. And an 8-point plank is, you're touching an 8 points. Hands, forearms, knees, and toes. So 2 hands, 2 forearms, 2 knees, 2 toes equals 8. So press down, knees a little bit wider than your hips. Pull your shoulders back. There's a slight tucking of your pelvis, and then lift your sternum forward. And now I want you to lift the tailbone up, but really keep your shoulders pulling towards your hips. Press down as firmly as you can. Hold 10, 9. Pull your knees towards your elbows. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. So in that, sometimes you might feel clicking in your lower back. That's just an instability in those smaller muscles right there. It's not a big deal. Your back's not breaking. It's just those muscles that are just kind of pitching back and forth over those vertebrae. So let's do it again. It's annoying, but it's not going to break your back. Press down, hold up, pull your shoulders to your hips, lift your tailbone up so you're not tucking your pelvis. Hold 10, press down, 9, press down, 8, pull the knees in, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Good. One more time doing the same thing. Coming back up, lift those hips, shoulders back, lift the tailbone slightly, hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Good. Let's come onto our back. Have your band close by, but you don't need it quite yet. Laying back on your mat. So from here, we're just going to do a side-to-side motion. This nice big wide T position really is a great thoracic opener, which is a chest opener, even though these knees are seeming like the most work. Go ahead and drop your knees to your right and to your left. And as you do so, pause before the legs get too low. So you're controlling the distance that your legs go, so you're not trying to use too much of your arms to push back into the ground to get those knees to come back up. You've got 5 more to each side. Keep those legs connected. 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last one to each side. Good. Now go ahead and take your band. Let's place it around the knees. And again, it's information. So the band is around the knees, and you don't have to do this with any band. It can be done without a band, same idea. You just want to keep your knees from coming in together. So you want to use the glutes a little bit more, inner thighs a little bit more, and then keep those arms wide. Tip both knees to your right without the top knee coming down, and then center. Now you may feel this in your lower back if you're letting your feet drop, so they're pulling on your lower back. Breathing over to your right and to your left. Good. Over to your right and left. Watch that those knees don't bounce up and down. To your right and to your left. Do 4 more to your right. And 3 over. 2. And last one, each side, to your right and to your left. Good. Pause in the center. Hold. Take those arms up and overhead. Get long in the back. Exhale, bring your arms, head, and chest up. Just hold. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Take your hands behind your head. Tip your knees to the right and center. Tip your knees to the left and center. To the right. Lift up your right hip. Try not to just drop your knees. To the left. To the right. See if you can keep your shoulder blades off the ground. To the right. That gets you a little rocky. To the left. 2 more. To the right and left. Last one, each one. To the right and to the left. Hold back to center. Lower your head and just bring those knees in to release those quads. And now let's take the band above the knee, or below. Below would be if I'm standing, above is if I'm laying down. That's kind of the funny part. Anyway, but it should be the same thing. So, band is on the ankles, separate the feet, flex the feet. You can already feel, you should already be able to feel, if you put your hands in that space between your ribs and the top of your hip, if you just poke in there, that's your obliques. That's where all your power comes. Power comes from the transverse plane, or the plane that moves the body around the midline. And from here again, tip over to your right and center. Notice your right rib wall should stay down as much as you can. Left rib wall stays down here. So this is a work in opposition, not in just letting your body fall. Keep those feet flexed. Keep the shoulders back. Again, you could do this completely without the band. It just, there's not as much information, so it's harder to tell when you're not staying in the same position. You've got 4 more to your left. Center and to your right. Center, keep the ribs down. Try not to let your right rib lift up too much as you go to your left. Last 2 to each side. Last one's here. And down. Good. Just keyhole the band so it's on your feet or on the arches of your feet. Now we've done this before. We're going to get into doing a dead bug with the band against the feet. It's a great resistance pull. So you're going to start with your feet parallel though, and then start with your arms overhead. No movement of the legs to begin. Just let the arm go overhead. Now the key with the arm going overhead is that the arm doesn't pass your eye line, and your elbow stays as straight as you can with your thumb pointing back towards your head. Keep that chin down. We're going to add on to this by lifting the head up. Keep those bands pressed out using the outer thigh. So open, take your right arm over your head and chest is lifted, left arm over your head, right arm over your head, left arm over your head. Last two, right arm over your head, left arm over your head. One more each one, and overhead. Good, pause, just release the quads just for a second. So just to make this a little bit more challenging than we have before, so you can stay here and you don't have to have a band. What you're gonna do is you're gonna reach out your left foot and your right arm, and then you're just moving your left arm overhead. So just move one arm at a time. You've got 8 here, and 7, 6, 5, 4, pull those legs apart, 3, 2, and last one. Bring both legs in, so your head and chest is down, and doing the other side. Go ahead and exhale, lift up, push out into your right leg completely, breathing, and just move your right arm. Keep that head and chest up for 8, and 7, and 6, 5, and 4. Keep that chest up, 3, and 2. Last one, overhead, and then down. Bring your knees in and release just a little bit. Now you're going to just do a regular dead bug with the band. Of course, if you don't have a band, you're doing the dead bug without the band. Bring your head and chest up. Reach overhead with your right arm as your left leg goes out. Back to center, pause. Notice my hands are staying kind of in line with my shin. Breathing. Do 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last one, each leg. And then down. Good. Nice. Let's take the band completely off. You're going to do the same basic thing without a band now on. Of course, if you've had a band, no band on the entire time, you just get to repeat something over again. To make it more challenging, you can raise the legs, you can lift the head, you can move slower. Slow always is an increase of intensity because you have to maintain the same dynamic position for a much longer period of time. Right knee and left knee to tabletop, right arm and left arm up as your head lifts, and then you're going to extend the leg out and bring the leg back in. I want you to find that same position. So don't lower your leg down like you're lowering it to the floor. See if you can look between your legs and see that you're kind of still keeping your heels about the same line with each other. Do 4 more. Press into the hand and into the foot. 2 more. Last one, each leg. Good, and then lower back. So great ways to make dead bug a little bit more challenging. All right, so we're gonna move to the band that you have attached to the railing or whatever you have. I'll give you a couple of seconds to set up. Simply enough, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your mat. If you have a mat at home, come and do this, guys. You're gonna set up your band. Your bands are already set up. You are just gonna have your band attached someplace about midline to where you are, just because it makes it easier for setup. Good. And then you're going to face sideways to your band. And depending on your arm height is really depending on where the band is. So you want to, when you lay back, you want the band basically in line with a fully extended arm. And if it's not exactly, so when you're on your back, you want your arm here kind of lined up. So it's not coming from below you and it's not coming from too high above you. So what we just did, we did a lot of work with the legs, Now we're going to kind of focus in. Now, if you want to put it around your wrist, you can. I think it's easier to just kind of lace it around the palm of the hand where the thumb goes, so the thumb kind of creates a barrier. And the key here is going to be to keep this elbow as straight as you can. So don't let the elbow bend and lose that, because as soon as you lose the elbow, you kind of are forcing the shoulder to do all the work and not connecting into the oppositional of the core. So go ahead and lay back on your mat, arm extended straight over your shoulder, if not slightly angled down towards your hip. Bring your right leg and left leg up and just pull the tension here. You can already feel the tension. If there's not enough tension, move away. It's a rubber band. Breathing and just hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lift your head and chest up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Hands can angle down towards your knees. Do 5, 4. Marla, bring your hand towards your knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down. So the same idea. Now you're going to take your arm overhead and back down. Now, because of the pitch of this thing, if you take it too far overhead, it actually kind of tilts your hand back to the ground unless you really can keep tension on it. So you may need to release the tension a little bit at first. So arms are up, straight up, kind of ankle down towards the knees. Reach overhead with the right arm and out with the left leg. Try to keep that same line the entire time, so you're not letting your hand kind of graze away from center line. Do 4 more. This is challenging on that shoulder. Do 3. Keep that shoulder tight. 2 more. And last one. Good. Pause. Let's take the band around that inside thigh or inside knee. So you're hooking it around that leg. And then with the outside arm and the band that's on the knee, you're going to extend overhead and together. So just your your right leg and your left arm are going to move. Just your right leg and your left arm. I've got to tell my brain this. Good. So just your right leg and your left arm. Reach overhead and back. You've got 5. Keep that pelvis nice and level. 4. Keep the tension consistent. 3. And 2, and last one. Good. Pause. Drop your left foot. Take the band off of your right leg. Hold both bands so you have your band around your right hand. Clasp that band like make a fist, and take the outside arm, and you're going to create tension. So we've done this, what's called the Palov press, and this is similar to that motion. Bring those knees up and just move the legs. As you distort the motion, as you move away, and you really have to control those legs, the core has to work more to keep the tension in line. Do 4 each leg, and 3, and 2, last one each leg, and done. Good. And then bring that band back in. All right, let's come up and let's roll to the other side. So essentially just a repeat of the other side, of the first side. So setting yourself up. Make sure you're far enough away, but not so far that you can't maintain connection. So you're pulling, and so you may, again, remember, only go so far, because if you go too far, you're winging the band back towards, because the tension of the band will overpower. So from here, just your arm goes overhead and back. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, ribcage stays down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, over and then back. And then reach out with the right leg and left arm goes overhead. Exhale, overhead. Do 4, and 3, and 2, and last one. Good. Take that band, let's place it around the thigh or the knee. Arms are up, and just extend that left leg out now. Breathing, just 5, 4. Feel how that band takes precedence into the oblique on the left side. 2 more. And last one. Take that right arm over the head with that left leg. Breathing overhead and down. Watch that right arm doesn't get sloppy and that left arm doesn't kind of lose position. Do 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last one here. All the way over and back. Good. Did we take it over both knees? No. No. Go ahead and bring that band back into center. Just hold. And you're going to drop the right foot and left foot. Just hold that band right over center. Again, you may need more tension. And so pull that band in. Get nice and strong. Hold. 5 more each leg. And 4. And 3. Pack those shoulders in. 2 more. Last ones. Each arm, each leg. Good. And then come up and release the band. And just stop for a quick pause for a second. Just let your whole back kind of relax. So that's a lot of information across midline of the body, across hip lines of the body, even just in your brain, just to kind of figure all that stuff out. So we're going to do kind of a fun thing to reset the body. If you have a band, if you don't, you're just going to do knees rocking. If you do, it's fun because you get to put the band around your belly. Sit up nice and tall, put the band hit you at the hips. We're moving on, Shelby. It's having a good old time there. It's nice to be underneath the tree. It's nice to be underneath the tree. We miss you underneath the tree. All right, so because this band isn't too heavy, it's just again going to be a light piece of information, and you're just going to shift back and forth. Notice what it does as you shift in and out. It just pulls your hips back slightly. Doing that just kind of helps you kind of release any tension in your hips and your shoulders because it's doing some of the work for you as well as pulling against you. Chest stays elevated. Try to keep the head and shoulders forward. Try not to drop the head. Do 4 more. 3, 2. You're going to turn to your right. So if you have no band, don't worry about it. Turn to your right. That band is against your hip, and again, you're going to rock back and forth. If you have no band, try to do a rocking just with one leg back and forth. If you have the band on you, the band stays on, and you're just doing a sideways rocking, or just do a sideways rocking with no band. And then turn, and we'll go all the way to the other side. So again, push up into the band and feel how it's pulling you in. You resist that position, and so you're having to use the core to stabilize yourself. These are what's called, kind of helps with reflexive movements, because your body naturally reflexively wants to press into the band. Kind of like when you sit, you end up sitting reflexively or reflectively on the chair, which means you tend to sit rounded back even though you don't really intentionally want to. Do a couple more. 3, 2, and last one. Good. Go ahead and just come up and out of your band, sitting on the ground, and then release the band altogether. If you guys want to stay here, you can, or if you want to go back to your mats, you're more than welcome to. And we're just going to finish up with a little bit of restore now. So sitting up nice and tall. Restorative movements are really those movements that really help bring and tie the body back together, focusing in on some areas maybe where the body is stiff, disconnected, maybe a little sore and tired, or maybe out of control. So take your hands wide so your fingertips point away from your side, and then just pull the shoulders down and back. So your hands aren't behind you, they're kind of to the side. This puts your shoulders in a better position, and then that way you can lean and slightly bend the elbows. So you're not in a rigid elbow position. Pull the shoulders and elbows back behind you and lift the chest. So if you saw me from the side, it's just kind of, I'm hugging my back with my elbows and I'm lifting my chest up, getting a nice good stretch across the chest. And then I can even bend and straighten the elbows, kind of rolling the shoulders. Couple more each side. Good. And then just begin to move side to side. Bend and straighten the elbows. Take your hands wider and then lower yourself down a little bit more and then drop in. So your hands are out wide. Your chest is that big stretch for the chest. Slide those arms out to a T. Shoulders are down. Head is back. Breathing. Arms are wide to that T. Let's drop the knees side to side. So a release of the pelvis. Feet are probably hips distance apart, if not maybe even a little bit wider. Having your feet too narrow kind of limits your motion. Good, and then you're gonna cross your right ankle over your left knee and drop and drop. So kind of like a, I don't even know what this would be like. It's a figure 4 stretch in a sense, and that's being blown in the wind. How about that? Good, one more. Come back up, switch legs, left leg over the right or right leg over the left, whichever you've been doing. And just let your knee drop and drop and drop and drop. Good. And again, one more time to each side. Good. Bring both knees up. Unlace the one, but bring both knees up. And then again, drop as low as you can. I want your arms out wide as a T, but not above the line of the shoulders. Knees to your right all the way to the ground. Knees up, knees to your left all the way to the ground. If you need to release any tension, you bring the top knee up first, then let the bottom follow. So then you're not hoisting your legs up, but you're allowing for nice, even pattern movement. Good, over to your right, up and over to your left, up and up. One more time to each side, all the way to your right, all the way to your left. Bring those knees back in line. Hold the top of your knees. I moved around my mat when I did that. It's funny. Hold the top of your knees. And then circle. So I promise you, if you want to get better at something, start learning a technique, do it for several years, and then let a pandemic happen. And then you'll learn all different kinds of ways to do things that you never thought you could do before. So this is very expansive. So think of this as on-the-job training for you, for being able to learn all different types of new skills. We'll call it pandemic fitness. Circle those knees around. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bring your knees into your chest, head to your knees. Inhale, lower your right foot to the ground, extend your right leg out. Draw your left knee into your chest. Hug, bring your head up to your left knee and just reach that right leg straight out. Inhale, lower back, bring your right knee in. Extend your left leg all the way out. Hug that knee in as you can. Bring the head up to the knee. And then lower back. Bring the left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg out. Just hold the left knee with the right hand and take the left knee all the way across as you open up the left arm. Big deep breath. Feel that breath all the way down to the hip. Exhale. Keep that weight against. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Bring your left knee into your chest. Hold the left knee. Bring the right knee in and switch sides. Once again, draw the right knee into the chest. Left leg is fully extended on the ground. Breathing again, just using your left hand this time. Take the right leg across the midline of the body. Right arm is opened out. Take a big deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Say releasing. Inhale, bring that right knee into the chest, bring your left knee into your chest, and just rock several times on your back. Once more, all the way up. Good. And we are done. Have a great day. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all your quickness to move into space. Thank you, and I appreciate you for keeping coming and watching. Enjoy your day. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you later. Have a fantastic day. Tonight, we also have kettlebell and core tonight. It's a strength, it's mobility, it's movement-oriented. So if you don't swing necessarily with the kettlebell, don't particularly love that movement, that's okay, even though you're missing a huge part of your own power. And I can help you with that if you want to. And then we can kind of increase your intensity, power, and strength and control. Have a great night. I'll see you tonight at 5.